All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, JM Football, doing a draft film breakdown on Payton Wilson, linebacker out of NC State. 6'4", 235 pounds. I want to put this in three portions: his run defense, his pass rush, and then his pass coverage. I think the pass coverage is the best part of his game. I think the pass rush is a bonus, and then your run defense is how you survive on a down-to-down basis in the NFL, where he plays disciplined and instinctive. Now, I think there's some strength issues, but he has speed, burst. He really knows how to attack an offense in the run game. There's just going to be questions of is he going to be able to hold up strength-wise and be able to finish tackles at the NFL level. But I think at worst, this guy's an inside linebacker too, who can run and chase and then go make plays in zone coverage and have a number one inside linebacker who kind of leads the way through the makes things less muddy through the traffic. So let's get into it. Again, we're going to go through the run defense first. I really like this guy. I think he's going to get underrated because of, strength issues. He's a little skinny, but I think this guy's going to be just a good football player in the NFL. So we're going through the run defense first. First play here versus UConn, who's got a good right guard there, and Christian Haynes. Just playing discipline, right? They're pulling. So our key is the guard. We're going with it. We're asking this player to lever, take it outside. So now we are replacing in this gap, but you are playing it fast to where this tight end can't make the block, but then able to get low, dip, get lateral, and help make play on a runner. Now, number one did a great job on this already, so he's got the tackle. But if number one doesn't do this in the NFL, this back is right here, and Payton Wilson's here for the run stop, right? He's here to drive through his legs and explode and make a tackle for a loss. But thankfully, number one on that team did it for him. Next play. Just burst through all the mess for a tackle for a loss. Now, again, you want to finish that tackle a little stronger. But again, playing your keys, right? It's zone. Step with it. This is your gap. All right, this is your gap. Be instinctive. They're getting outside the tackles. They're doing pin and pull, right? So at first this looks like zone, but they have this player down blocking, this player down blocking. So you got to get out there because these guys are not going to be part of this play. Get through all this mess, speed, burst, tackle for a loss. Next, going to shed this block. Get low. Help with a tackle. Again, other guys on his NC State team make the play on this. But again, we got this motion. We bump down. We have to play this outside gap, right? We're playing this gap right here. 26 is playing this gap. Use your hands. Quick. Get those hands off of you. Get low. And go to make a play on the ball. Now, again, everyone else on UConn did a bad job, but there to go and help with the tackle for a loss. Next play here versus Notre Dame. And just showing this is your gap. They're running duo, right? Which means this is an aggressive run. They're running right at you. These guys pinch down. You're there behind the line of scrimmage making a tackle. And here's where I really like. Now, this play, you're not going to look at it and think, oh, wow, great play by Payton Wilson. But this shows up consistently on film where he has to take the outside of this pull, right? Lever, right? Where he has to take the outside of this to play his responsibility, but also let your instincts work, right? Because right now, if you just slammed into this right here, right? You've done your job. But I like the instincts that he shows to lever this, force the back up inside, and then spin back out of it. Now, no one's here, so there's no one there to help. But let's just say that there is someone that is playing this right here, and you force him out this way. Well, then you're there for a tackle. And then you're going to see it here versus Clemson, where it's the same thing. Right, we're lining up out on the edge. We're going to lever. We got to play this outside. So we lever, we force the back inside, we play our responsibility. Now spin inside of it, and you're there to help go make a tackle, right? Even though number 10's already there. Here versus UConn, right? Playing your gap, get instinctive, right? Get downhill, right? You're playing this tight end, right? This player has this gap, this player has this gap, so you're playing the outside shoulder of this tight end, right? So he shows that he's going to lead through this gap. Nope. Some good misdirection by this UConn offensive coordinator, but he cuts up. Okay, this is your gap, right? This is your gap. Play it, get low, dip through, and then burst for a tackle. That shit shows up just consistently. Here versus Virginia Tech. Again, just playing fast. Playing fast, using your hands. Right? Tight end wants to down block on this. Use our hands. Bam. Get hands off of him. Swipe. Get in here. And deliver a blow on the running back. Right? Like, watch this in full speed. Like, this is just instincts, right? This is knowing your role and then using instincts to be on top of that to make a big play. Here versus Notre Dame, right? Going to be on the back side of this. Deliver a big hit. All right, got to play our responsibility. All right, they're pulling these cats. We got to make sure they don't cut it back up. I think you got this zone read right here, right? You got to play your responsibilities. Okay, he's going. Bam. Burst. Deliver a hit. Now, some issues in the run game. He doesn't have a lot of missed tackles, but he doesn't, backs are able to not consistently, but fall forward with him when they're able to get their momentum. And he's not just, hitting the guy who's churning his feet from full burst. So, right, this is down here at the goal line. We do a good job getting off this block. You've got arms around him. And he's able to just break that tackle, and that's a touchdown versus Notre Dame. Right, so it's not like that's a missed tackle, right? But you don't see a bunch of missed tackles on film. But stuff like this is where you do see kind of consistently. This is the 3rd and 1, right? So he's directing traffic. We're going to pinch this all down, right? He plays this great, right? Reading. He's 6'4", so he can see, right? He's going to bounce this 3rd and 1. Bam, we're here. We're here to make that 3rd and 1 run stop, right? This is going to be a stop, but instead the back's able to fall forward for 2 yards, and they've got a 1st and 10 instead of a 4th and 1. And you do see times when he's not able to slip those blocks quickly, like out here, that he has a hard time getting off of them, right? Like this is a tight end. Again, he's able to get off it at the end, but this tight end is originally able to widen this out, and it allows this back, or, this quarterback to cut up. Now, if he pitched this to the back, he's there. Ends up being a touchdown. But not really focusing on the result of the play, but more just his individual. And then here, versus, again, the Christian Haynes, the guard from UConn. It's going to be a day 2 pick probably. Right? Just can't get off of these blocks. And that shows up. Not a ton, right? Because he plays fast and he doesn't get in those situations. But that does show up on film. So as a run defender, again, he's a playmaker. He's instinctive without being undisciplined. A lot of times you see guys who are just undisciplined, right? They're jumping gaps. They're not reading. They're just playing fast and downhill, and it gets them in trouble. You don't see that with Payton Wilson. It's discipline. Now he needs to get better taking on blocks when he's not able to get downhill. But man, he puts together some good run defending film. Want to take a quick look at his pass rush. It's all based off of athleticism and the lateral ability. He's not really using his hands or using power, right? Once guys get hands on him, he does well, right? He can do some things with his hands, but once offensive linemen get hands on him, it's over. But that's kind of the case for most linebackers when it comes to pass rushing anyways, where with Payton Wilson, at least he can use his space and use his athleticism to set stuff up, and you'll see that show up consistently. So first pass rushes, you're going to see him coming off the right side of the screen from the edge, just going to work outside in, right? That lateral mobility, right? We're going to threaten him upfield. Bam. And just quickly get lateral. Bam. We're here. Now, I want to see some more strength to take that left arm and rip right through, right? But still getting there, affecting the pass rusher. Again, on the edge, you're going to see him. You work this hezzy on this tight end, right? And deliver a big-ass hit, right? So, using space, right? Setting this tight end up. He throws his punch. You swipe those hands off. Quick. And then burst. Ends up with a sack. Here lining up over the center. You're just going to see that lateral mobility, right? With these blitz. This should have been a sack. You're going to see why it wasn't. Right? So we're walking this player up. He's going to blitz. Just one good blitz call by NC State to mess with their protection, right? But we're showing this way to get the center to work here. Right? And the back's got his eyes here. And then this isn't meant to break down this blitz, but he's working outside in. But it's on Payton Wilson to keep this as tight as possible, right? See how quick he is. Bam! Right? No time for this guard to pass this off and move his feet and get in front of this, right? And if this edge rusher wasn't getting run right into him, he ends up with a sack, but his edge rusher ends up getting in his way. Here versus Notre Dame, again over the center, right? Same exact blitz. Right now, this time the guard gets his hands on him. Right? It's the exact same blitz. Right? The exact same thing. And you want to keep this a little tighter. But he gets tripped up by the left tackle. Right? But if he doesn't get tripped up by this left tackle, he's helping with this pressure. But all this pressure up here forces the quarterback to take a hit. Ends up being a sack fumble. So, right? Just keep it quick. So, again, there's not a ton of he's not going to come in and be an edge rusher or anything in the NFL. But you set him up with a blitzing team, he's going to make plays. He may not always get a sack, but he's going to be able to set up stunts and other stuff to get you free rushers without having to send 6 or 7. Let's get into the coverage aspect of Payton Wilson, which I think is a real strength for him in zone coverage and man coverage. I think there's some deficiencies with long speed. But what you see with Payton Wilson, again, like you see in the run, he plays disciplined. He knows what he's looking at, right? He's not playing out of place. But he also uses his instincts to make plays, right? And there's a good balance between that, between just spot dropping, getting to your zone, or a guy who's just kind of freestyling and all over the place and gets killed by double moves or by, certain types of concepts that get you out of place. So you're going to see, he's never out of place, but he's always kind of making that extra instinctive move that allows him to make plays. So let's get into it. Zone coverage lined up here, right? He's going to end up getting an interception on this. Right, we're versus a 3 deep zone, right? We have this part of the field is occupied, right? He's reading this. This receiver pivots out, but in reality, he's here to stop this hook curl right here. But hey, read what you're writing, right? Because if this player comes underneath, he has to pick that up. So he pivots out. So immediately gets his eyes back on the QB, flips his hips, and runs. Like he has no idea that this receiver's running an in-breaker. For all he knows at this point, he's running a curl route. Right? But flip your hips, right? You don't have anything to cover right here. So let's go cover some field instead of just covering a spot. Get your eyes, read the quarterback. Get underneath it, and he's going to get an interception. See it from this angle a little bit with this huge-ass pole in the way. Right? We're reading that little pivot. Okay. It's not there. Let me read these QB's eyes. He's looking for something inside. Get underneath it. Good hands. Interception. Here he's going to have a pass breakup on a drive concept. Right? And just does a good job of baiting the quarterback out of a throw. Right? So you have this drag right here. You're going to have this basic in route, dig route right here. And then what the QB is reading is him. This is who the quarterback is reading. If he comes and takes down this drag, this drive route, right, then we want to throw the in. So what Payton Wilson does a great job is showing the quarterback, hey, I'm taking that away from you. I'm taking that away from you, which means that this area of the field is going to be open because there's no one to cover this because we have all of this. These 3 receivers occupying these zone defenders. right? And that's where Payton Wilson uses his instincts, right? Hey, I'm going to get this quarterback off of this, right? I'm showing that I'm covering this drive. So as soon as he makes that move, the quarterback is taught, okay, hit the basic route right here. But Payton Wilson comes off of it, gets his hands on it, isn't able to corral the interception. But again, showing that you're covering that, pop back off of this, got his hands on the ball. Next play, line up down here versus the seam. All right, this isn't anything crazy, but it's good, right? If this ball isn't overthrown, it's an interception. All right, again, we're playing our curl hook area. All right, playing our curl hook area. You got inside leverage. He gets behind you immediately. You've got nothing that's occupying right here that you need to cover. Flip your hips and get underneath and run. And that's covered, right? If this quarterback doesn't overthrow this, this isn't, at least a pass breakup by Payton Wilson. Instead of it's a drop by the safety. Next play, going to get this pass breakup on this post wheel concept, right? This is a concept that gets ran at all levels of football, high school, college, NFL, right? It's something that I really like. So you're trying to attack these 3 deep zones, which is what I believe that NC State is in, but they turn it into man based off of the look that they get, man match, right? So the idea of this is to have this post route occupy this defender, and hey, you can open up the wheel route right here. But if they cover the wheel, well, this is going to be open. So NC State does a good job of matching this, but a part of that is Payton Wilson, right? One, rerouting the post, rerouting that post, and then getting your hips, getting it on this wheel. Again, maybe he's a little behind, but is able to go and make a play on the ball. Next play, when he forces the quarterback into a pump fake and then is able to rally and help with a tackle on 3rd down, right? This is 3rd down. Quarterback is coming back to this side, and Payton Wilson is showing like he's covering the swing with the back, right? Showing that, right? Nope, we're coming back in, right? So he's expecting Payton Wilson to be out here, cover this, and then throw this spot route right here, right? That's what he's expecting. And you see the quarterback is reading that, right? But he baits him into that where, hey, he pumps on this, right? You can see him pumping, right? He has to pull it back in because Payton Wilson almost baited him into an interception and then be able to rally and go and make a play. Here, versus this curl, slant flat. Again, shutting it down. You got a 3x2. Quarterback's reading up here or down here, right? They switch this coverage on this, right? That's his first read. They're switching the coverage on it, which is a good stop. Sticking with it, right? Don't over pursue. He stops, pivots, run with him, get underneath it. He wants to stop, and then go and pursue. This is where the issues can show up in coverage, though, right? We're lined up right here. Man coverage versus these wheel and rails. And both these reps, he's lined up on the edge, so usually there's going to be more space for him to operate and get some momentum. But he does get beat by these, right? They're going to motion this back in. He's in man coverage. And this back is able to get him on this rail route, wheel route. And you're going to see that a lot in the NFL. And he just gets beat on. Now, quarterback throws a bad ball on him. But that could have been a big chunk play. And you're going to see here versus Louisville, right? Line up on the edge again. And just inexplicably gives up this inside leverage, right? Like, that's the one thing you don't want. Even if you get beat, you don't want to get beat with inside leverage, right? You want to stay inside of this. He gives that up, and this back just dusts him, right? And again, a quarterback missing is able to help him. So again, there is some bad on coverage, but I see so much good where I think he's going to be a really good coverage linebacker in the NFL. So in conclusion with Wilson, here's my conclusion. I think he's going to be a good football player. I think he's going to be a playmaker in the NFL. Now, he's going to be picked apart. The injuries, the way he tests because of some strength issues. But I just can't be convinced that whoever picks this guy, if he's on the field, is going to have a positive impact for them, right? There is some things he's got to get better at, right? Things he needs to grow at, needs to stay healthy. But, for all the guys that end up getting picked in the draft and end up not doing anything, When this guy gets on the field, I trust him to be able to make plays. He just has a nose for the ball. He's smart, instinctive, and I feel like those guys belong in the NFL. Guys who can pursue, who go max effort all the time. So I'm excited for this guy. I cannot wait to see what he does in the NFL, and I hope he's able to stay healthy for all. Like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one.